You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Well, breaking news, flashbangs and tear gas aimed at protesters as the Border Patrol arrives in the Bay Area. And among those struck, a local priest reportedly hit by a canister. Those demonstrators turning tense as an apparent federal crackdown on immigration comes to our own backyard. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. So let's get right out to Veronica Macias, who is live at Alameda Coast Guard Island. So let's go to Veronica right now. So Veronica, what is the scene like right now?
Right now, Ryan, I can tell you there was a cheer from this crowd of protesters that have been blocking the intersection of Coast Guard Island here. One of the ministers taking to the speaker, letting the crowd know about a press release that just came out from Mayor Daniel Lurie's office, where he says he had a conversation with the president just last night. And the president, he said, clearly saying that he is calling off federal deployment to the city of San Francisco. Now, these protesters out here cheering for a moment, but the minister also pointing out, what about the rest of the Bay Area? What about Alameda? What about Oakland? All these people here are here to deliver a message to the president, to the federal government, saying they do not want ICE, they do not want troops in their communities. They want their children, their neighbors, and their friends to be left alone. Now, this morning, for the most part, this protest has been peaceful. Right now, we saw the fire department coming in. It seems like someone wasn't injured, but somebody had somewhat of a fall, so nothing that is critical. But earlier this morning at about 7 o'clock, we did see the presence of agents here. You had Customs and Border Protection that was coming in just as the entrance to the Coast Guard Island is blocked off. And you had other cars weaving in, but you had the CBP agents not messing around here. The moment they arrived, there was one agent that opened his trunk. There were two flashbangs, and there was a minister that was struck in the face. He had tear gas, and as he wiped it away, we heard from those ministers tell us their sense of anger. Take a listen.
They treat a pastor like that and peaceful protesters. How are these ICE agents, which are totally out of control, treating our immigrant neighbors? They have completely lost a moral compass.
In this area. But again, Ryan, I could tell you the reason why these people are still remaining here after the announcement from the mayor's office is because they still believe there is a threat to other communities in the Bay Area right now, where they fear they may be seeing scenes playing out like the rest of the country, where you have mass raids and people being deported at their ICE appointments. These people referencing how the president has said these federal interventions are there to pick up the worst of the worst. And these people here telling us, we've seen that that is not the case sometimes. You have a lot of people who are being picked up who have no criminal background at all. And that is what they're protesting here this morning, Ryan.
Okay, and Veronica, do you know, kind of just break down and kind of paint the scene out here. I mean, how many Border Patrol agents and ICE agents are we expected to see at the Alameda base over there? And also, I know things have kind of tampered down just a bit, but there was that moment where it did become very tense. Has it calmed down since then?
It has significantly calmed down in comparison to what we saw early this morning. And we know we're expecting somewhere around 100 agents. And that tends to be the fear, because earlier you only had this one area, the pathway, the sidewalk directly in front of the base that was being blocked off. And We've now seen hundreds of protesters arriving, and they have this entire intersection, as soon as you get to the base, blocked off. They're circling the area. And the fear is when those CBP agents start to arrive, that there could be disruption, because there was no, for lack of a better term, patience when it comes from the agents when they arrived. They meant business. They were here to get into the base, and their path was blocked, and they wasted no time in throwing those flashbangs and letting the protesters know they needed to move out of the way. So we have heard from city leaders reminding protesters all along. The mayor yesterday being more assertive with his message to the president, saying, we do not need the military to come in here. We have things under control. Crime has dropped in San Francisco, and the violence will only come from the chaos that any military presence will create in our streets of San Francisco.
And we do want to make a distinction when Daniel Lurie's talking about the feds have called out potential federal deployment in San Francisco. He is talking about the National Guard. In Alameda, we're talking about ICE and Border Patrol. But I have to believe, and you had mentioned this earlier, what was the reaction, though, when Daniel Lurie did make that announcement?
Well, there was a cheer in the crowd, Ryan, here. You have some of the ministers who have been coming over the speakerphone. And right now you have a lot of chant, you have a lot of singing, we've had a lot of prayer. But they have taken moments here to sort of address the crowd, let them know what is in their surrounding. You do have what's interesting. You see the U-Haul truck that is sort of blocking the intersection, and you have another vehicle with a sign of no ICE, no troops. And this only leads me to believe that this is here for the protection of the protesters that are present, because we don't know what direction the agents are coming in from. So people have had to be very careful. But the moment that announcement was made from the minister over the speakerphone, there was a cheer from the crowd, but also quick to remind everyone that we don't know what this necessarily means for other areas of the Bay. You still have Oakland, you have Alameda, where we have seen raids in the past, and that is their belief that they're going to continue to see that, and they remain here present for neighbors in those communities that have no protection yet, or have not heard from the president say that the federal presence is being called off there in their areas.
Okay, Veronica Macias reporting live for us from the Coast Guard station in Alameda. Stay safe out there. It's good to see, at least right now, the protests have kind of tampered down just a bit. Well, like Veronica mentioned, we did see some moments after protesters say a man was hit by a tear gas canister. So there was some tense moments out there. A crew on the scene confirming a Border Patrol vehicle drove past the crowd of protesters and started using flashbangs and smoke grenades. We are told the man that you're seeing right here, his name is Jorge, that he is a pastor with an interfaith group.
You've got some blood on you. You're all wet.
I obviously was shot with whatever that Border Patrol has directly in my face.
They got a pastor.
And I came and saying we're here in peace, and he didn't care. So there's nothing else to say. He wanted to cause harm to me.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing better, yes.
And moments after that happened, we spoke with his fellow pastor, Laura, who told us she came to urge federal agents to turn away from violence.
And we were here just walking in the crosswalk. Jorge, I actually work with him. And he's a pastor, I'm a pastor, and we are here to express our displeasure and also to frankly give all of these people a chance too. All of these folks who came in to work, they don't have to be in this job. They can reclaim their humanity at any point and decide to do something different.
Other interfaith leaders also showing up this morning in support of our local immigrant communities. We heard from Allison Tanner with Lakeshore Avenue Baptist Church in Oakland.
We're here to say that we must protect our community if our community is under attack 1/3 of Oakland residents are immigrants. They are our neighbors, they are our educators, they are our public officials, and we must stand up in this moment to ensure that everyone is safe. For those in the community who are able to come out and just bear witness to what's happening and hold vigil, keep your eyes open.
So as we talk about what's happening in Alameda, of course, we're talking about Border Patrol, we're talking about ICE agents. We're also talking about the National Guard, and we do want to mention this, that we had mentioned that a statement from San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie. He says that the feds has called off the potential federal deployment in San Francisco. Let me read you the statement. The mayor says President Trump called him late last night, and in that conversation, the president told him clearly that he was calling off any plans for federal deployment in San Francisco after the mayor told the president that San Francisco is on the rise. The mayor's statement made no mention of federal plans in other parts of the Bay Area. Of course, we're seeing the deployment of ICE and Border Patrol in Alameda. And former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi released a statement on the planned deployment, saying in part, "We will not be intimidated by political motivated fear tactics. Our state and local authorities may arrest federal agents if they break California law, and if they are convicted, the president cannot pardon them." Meanwhile, on the other side of the argument, conservative political commentator Richie Greenberg says he would have welcomed a federal crackdown on crime in San Francisco.
Bring in all those different agencies to do what they do best, because clearly San Francisco's leadership in City Hall is incapable of doing what they really need to do to serve our interests.
So we reached out to the Department of Homeland Security, who released this statement. DHS is targeting the worst of the worst criminals, illegal aliens, including murderers, rapists, gang members, pedophiles, and terrorists in cities such as Portland, Chicago, Memphis, and San Francisco. As it does every day, DHS law enforcement will enforce the laws of our nation. We'll keep following the federal deployment here in the Bay Area. Once again, Border Patrol and ICE in Alameda, the federal deployment of the National Guard, that has been called off for San Francisco. You can find updates anytime at kpix.com and streaming on the CBS News app. And many communities across California and the nation have already had to deal with the chaos of immigration raids. And according to exclusive new polling, most Californians disapprove of President Trump's mass deportation plan now that they've seen it in action. Here's that new CBS News poll that finds only 4 in 10 people support the plan. Our Kenny Choi spoke to an immigrant support group and Bay Area Republican about the issue impacting communities all across California.
Doors that were once open are now locked at Conexion to Community these days.
You can see once it's closed, they double lock it. It's very secure.
Lori Chavez has worked at Conexion for nearly 30 years. She says a heightened threat of deportations has many fearful. The San Jose nonprofit helps day laborers, many from the immigrant community, find jobs.
Our services are to help people, to become self-sufficient, to have a better life.
Chavez says on September 23rd, ICE officers showed up to arrest a man during a work training class. Conexion says it's the first time an immigration-related arrest has occurred on the property in the organization's 50-year history. More locks and security measures are in place, but she says there's been a significant dip in workers seeking help since the incident.
It's a shame, but we're here to continue to do our job and help people.
Newly released CBS polling shows most California voters, especially those who disapprove of the deportation program, feel the administration is trying to deport more people than they'd expected. Richard Maher is a member of the San Francisco Young Republicans and Latinos for Trump.
I do believe that they're being caught up in this unjustly, but at the same time, it needs to be done in order to actually make sure that that violent criminal element is taken care of. That's embedded within perhaps some people that have done things the wrong way.
The greater good, Maher says, is safer communities overall, despite nonviolent illegals also being deported.
Some of the means are a little jarring, to say the least, especially if we were just to base it on what we're seeing. But at the same time, I actually think this will yield a greater good.
We're still here, and we're going to stand up and fight this and not allow this to happen again. We can't afford to have this happen in our community.
Chavez and others at Conexion say they're doing what's right, helping those most in need.
Well, Chavez says one positive outcome is that they have been getting more calls to the center offering home improvement jobs. She did not want to disclose more details of the case involving the man who was arrested. We reached out to ICE for comment, but did not hear back. Still ahead on CBS News Bay Area, the potential tug of war over military forces as Governor Newsom deploys the National Guard to California's food banks. How this is highlighting what could become conflicting orders from the governor and the president. Plus, it's an effort to build more affordable housing in wine country. Why some say the plan makes sense on paper, but not in practice.
I think all of us were shocked. Like it was, are we serious?
Daytime highs throughout the Bay Area today. We're still talking about 70s in our inland spots. Sunny skies for us today and tomorrow throughout our inland areas. But once we dive into this weekend, we have this atmospheric river pushing in from the north, bringing in a series of showers on and off as we head into our Saturday and Sunday forecast. That should start clearing up, though, as early as next Monday. And then we get that nice midweek warm up right around the corner, and you'll definitely notice it in our inland spots. Now we make our way over into the Bay. 60s pretty much each day for now until we get that warm up as we head into next week. But for now, we're keeping a close eye on those stormy conditions this weekend.
Well, a young driver involved in a crash that killed 4 teens in Marin County earlier this year now facing manslaughter charges. CHP investigators say the teen and 5 passengers were on their way to a sleepover back in April when the speeding car crashed into a redwood tree and burst into flames. The driver and 1 passenger survived. That driver will face a misdemeanor charge for vehicular manslaughter. A man accused of supplying deadly drugs to 2 Santa Rosa high school students now facing murder charges. Police say 22-year-old Ramon Nunez provided cocaine laced with fentanyl to the 2 students back in February. They were later found dead inside a home on Brockwood Drive. Nunez was initially booked on second-degree homicide charges, which has since been upgraded. He's set to return to court next month to enter a plea. As President Trump looks to potentially deploy the National Guard to San Francisco, Governor Newsom made his own move to deploy the National Guard to our state's food banks. As Katie Nielsen explains, it could create a potential conflict of power between the White House and the state.
Thank you all for coming. Caitlin Sly is the executive director of the food bank of Contra Costa and Solano. She says it's the volunteers that help pick up the slack during times of need, like if the federal shutdown extends past Thursday, causing a delay in benefits for SNAP or food stamp recipients.
We have tens of thousands of people locally who are receiving CalFresh benefits on a monthly basis, and we needed to be prepared for those folks coming to us in need of more food.
Governor Gavin Newsom said he's going to be allocating $80 million in emergency funds and also deploying the National Guard to food banks to help make sure those impacted in California don't go hungry.
We were very surprised. We had no idea that this was coming. What we need more is food and funding to buy food, because the more people come to us, that's what we're going to need.
Newsom's move, coming as President Trump has threatened to deploy the National Guard to San Francisco, is raising the question of what would happen if Guard troops are caught between conflicting orders from the governor and the president.
What would happen if Governor Newsom called out the National Guard to work at the food banks and the president said, I don't want him to do that, I want him to go down to the ICE office? And the answer is we don't know, because like so many other things at this moment, it's unprecedented.
A somewhat awkward situation for many of the food banks who say they'd welcome any help to get food to people in need, but don't want to be part of political gamesmanship.
We will supplement with National Guard help if needed, but really what we need is support in food and funds.
And the National Guard was deployed to the help food banks during the pandemic to replace volunteer groups who could not come in because of social distancing restrictions. A new CBS News poll asked voters about Prop 50, which would temporarily change our state's congressional map. As a look at the numbers, 62% of voters are likely to vote yes on Proposition 50. 38% of the voters are likely to vote no. Among those voting yes, most say it is to oppose President Trump and the GOP. And state leaders placed Proposition 50 on the ballot after new redistricting maps in Texas, pushed by the president and Republican lawmakers, were designed to give the GOP 5 additional seats in Congress ahead of the 2026 midterms. If voters approve Proposition 50 on November 4th, California would adopt temporary maps that could effectively offset those Texas gains by shifting as many as 5 seats toward Democrats in the upcoming election. FBI agents have arrested more than 30 people in connection to illegal sports betting, all taking place across the country. Among those arrested, Portland Trailblazer coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat player Terry Rozier, and former players Damon Jones. Authorities say in those alleged schemes, high-tech technology was used to cheat during poker games. Some of the more than 30 defendants in the case are members of organized crime.
Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today.
Patel also says the charges and arrests include wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, and illegal gambling. Well, first it was the Louvre in Paris, and now San Jose has fallen victim to its own art heist. Someone stole an iconic statue from a local park. The city's Parks Department confirmed the Momotaro statue of Guadalupe Park was stolen. You can see right here where the statue was cut from its pedestal, leaving nothing but the feet behind. The statue, of course, is the Japanese folk hero flanked by a dog and a monkey. It was donated to San Jose in 1993 by its sister city, Okayama, Japan. No word from the police on a potential motive or suspects. Napa County leaders are working to find a solution to the housing shortage in wine country. This week, supervisors nearly approved a new set of builder fees on luxury homes and hotel projects. This is to generate money for affordable housing. But as John Ramos reports, some in the industry say it could actually make the problem worse.
There's no doubt that there's an acute need for affordable housing here in the Napa Valley, and the county is taking action to try to make that happen. But there are some who say what they're doing may result in very few houses of any kind being built here. First, the problem. The median income in Napa County is about $70,000, but the median home price is $977,000. That's a big problem for a region that relies so heavily on the labor of low-income vineyard workers.
When you look at our farm workers that are traveling from Stockton, from Lodi, to be able to come and work here, and their families are over there because they cannot afford the rental rates.
So at their Tuesday meeting, the Napa County Board of Supervisors approved a new set of developer fees to generate funds for affordable housing while putting a major cost on so-called luxury housing. Generally, homes over 2,500 square feet would be taxed $43 per square foot, with the fee escalating to that rate over the next 3 years. The current fee is only $9 per square foot. Supervisor Belia Ramos made the motion that put the matter to a vote.
We have to look at what are we incentivizing. Mandating doesn't work, incentivizing does. We're incentivizing those smaller types of homes. I guess that's an opinion if you think 2,500 square feet is small.
The fee for projects submitted after January 15th would only apply in the rural unincorporated areas of the county. But in Napa Valley, building a 2,500 square foot home might not make a lot of sense considering the exorbitant cost of the land underneath it.
I think all of us were shocked. Like it was, are we serious about it?
Gianna Giovannoni was at the meeting and said the size and abruptness of the fee hike took the entire construction industry by surprise. She works for Gagetta Construction, the family business.
Do you think something like this would lead to more housing being built or less?
Less. I don't picture it being more, that's for sure. And they're probably going to be driving the wealthy developers to go anywhere else but Napa.
Mick Gagetta is the owner of the company. He points to a single-family home that he is currently helping to design. Is this one of the ones that might rethink what they're doing?
They may rethink what what we're talking about here. They might just pull the plug on it. They want to add 600 square feet, and they might just pull the plug on it because we're talking, it's going to probably be approximately $60,000 additional dollars in fees on this project.
Right now, only about 35 homes are built each year in the county's area, so the loss of even a few would make a big difference. Ironically, Mick says there may be a building boom initially.
They're going to get pushed in right now so they can avoid this tax. So we'll see a spike of construction, and then after that, everybody's going to be very aware of what's happening, so they're going to take their projects and shelve them.
With state mandates, the Napa area is under the gun to build more housing. The county thinks the new fees may make that happen. Those who work in the industry don't seem to agree with that.
The families won't be able to afford to build their homes here, and you're probably going to be pushing more people out instead of bringing more people in.
This is how we begin to create a more livable community where everyone who works here can afford to live here.
The county sees it as a carrot and stick approach, but the builders seem amazed by the size of the stick.
Well, the original fee was proposed for homes over 2,000 square feet, but it was changed to 2,500 square feet. The measure was passed Tuesday, but it will take one more final vote for approval of the amended proposal. Still ahead, a tough test on the road coming up for the 49ers, but they're feeling the momentum. How the head coach is crediting some cool dudes.
Now, as we head into this weekend, an atmospheric river is pushing in from the north. What that's going to do for us is bring in a series of showers on and off as we head into Saturday morning, starting at 6 a.m. up in the North Bay, tracking that to the south as we head into the afternoon hours. It's light for the most part. I mean, Saturday alone, we're seeing close to around 1/100 of an inch of rain throughout most of our East Bay areas. A little bit more impressive numbers up in the North Bay. Here's those numbers just in total for Saturday alone. Now, as we head into our Sunday forecast, we'll see a very similar setup, on and off light showers on tap for us. We clear up as we head into Monday, right around the corner as we head into next week. And then we're in for a treat as we head into next week, too. We're talking about drier conditions around the corner, warmer temperatures too. Here's what it's going to look like as we head into the next 7 days right behind me. 60s today and tomorrow. Similar trend as we head into this weekend. We'll return to the 70s in our inland spots as early as next Tuesday and Wednesday. Upper 70s on tap for us as we head into next week. Widespread throughout the Bay Area.
Well, the 49ers are slight road underdogs this Sunday when they head to Houston, take on the Texans, but they're feeling confident in the locker room. Matt Lively reports from Santa Clara.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
We go into every week highlighting the players that aren't available for the 49ers, and no change here. Wednesday had another long list, but the players who are available are the reason why they're still near the top of the NFC.
We got cool dudes. I mean, I don't like to overdo that narrative.
We hit it off pretty well. We all like brothers, man. It kind of remind me of college. So whenever we get a chance to spend time with each other, it obviously shows on the field.
The running back room is in a much better mood this week after finally breaking out. Christian McCaffrey and Brian Robinson Jr. combined for 5 yards per carry on 33 attempts.
We're not running the ball well. No one's happy around here, and especially Christian.
Whenever things don't go well, nobody's more frustrated than me. I might not always show it, but I'm my biggest critic and slow to compliment myself as well sometimes.
Kyle Shanahan is regarded as one of the league's top play callers, and on Sunday, he gets to return to Houston, where he had his first shot to call plays as the Texans' offensive coordinator in 2008.
I remember all the bad ones in that game. We got our whooped. I was scared of James Harrison, Troy Polamalu. They went on to win the Super Bowl that year. It was a very tough first game.
Brock Purdy continues to make progress on his toe injury, but he was limited in practice on Wednesday, and it's expected that Mac Jones will make yet another start. For the Red and Gold Report, I'm Matt Lively.
For more of this weekend's matchup, join Matt and Vern Glenn for the Red and Gold Report tomorrow night at 7:30 on KPIX, streaming on the free CBS News app. Coming up our next half hour, CBS News Bay Area will continue to follow the scenes outside at Alameda, where things turned tense as Border Patrol agents were met with protesters. We're going to hear from faith leaders who say the feds are not needed to keep their community safe.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Well, thanks for staying with us. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. Here's another look at our top headlines. Protesters turn tense as Border Patrol agents arrive in the Bay Area. This is for an apparent federal crackdown on immigration. This is video from the scene at the Alameda Coast Guard Island. Protesters blocking cars and authorities clearing them out with tear gas canisters and flashbangs. BART police have released a new image of a man who is a suspect in the stabbing at the Daly City BART station last month. He's wearing a black hat, black sweatshirt, and gray pants. Officers say he was seen with a woman in a red shirt before the knife attack. They sent a man to a hospital. Police are calling her a person of interest. The Warriors playing their home opener tonight at Chase Center. The Dubs will face off against the Denver Nuggets. The Warriors fresh off Sunday's win against the Lakers in Los Angeles. Tip-off's off 7 tonight. If you want tickets and you want to go, they're averaging around $100. Okay, let's get another check of our first alert forecast with meteorologist Jessica Birch tracking our next change of some, light showers.
Well, it's another sunny and mild day for us in our inland spots. Daytime highs today holding on tight to some 70s right around the corner in places like the East Bay, in the North Bay, all the way down into the Santa Clara Valley too. You see that blue along the coast? We're holding on tight to cool, cloudy conditions today along our shoreline, but we're also dealing with a beach hazard statement issued by the National Weather Service. That's important to note as we head outside today and tomorrow. We're still dealing with that northwesterly swell, some strong waves, rip currents, and sneaker waves right around the corner as we head into the next couple hours, and that will last into the evening hours tonight too. So on tap for us as we head into the next couple days, the big story for us actually has to do with some stormy conditions right around the corner. And it doesn't start until Saturday though, and we're going to see on and off showers in the forecast for us diving into this weekend, playing this out into Saturday afternoon. Starting off in the morning hours, we'll see some light showers tracking in from north to south. What that means for us is we could see some more potential for heavier showers up in the North Bay compared to the South Bay as it starts to lose its energy, making its way to the south. Close to around a half an inch. That's what we're gearing up for as we head into this weekend. Saturday alone, though, it won't amount to too much. The rainfall totals from Saturday morning all the way into the evening hours, close to around 1/100 of an inch all the way down into the South Bay. A little bit more impressive up in the North Bay. Now, those showers are going to start tapering off, though, once we head into Sunday night. By Monday morning, we're really clearing up. We'll see warmer conditions on tap for us as we head into next week. Upper 70s right around the corner, actually, for our friends in our inland areas with sunny skies as early as next Tuesday and Wednesday. So a little bit of a cool down into this weekend as that system pushes through. A nice little warm up as we head into next week as early as Tuesday and Wednesday. It's also noticeable for our friends along the bay, too. If you live closer to San Francisco, Oakland, Daly City, you know the drill. We're holding on tight to 60s pretty much each day. Cloudy skies this weekend. Keep that in mind, and we're going to keep you updated on those rainfall totals as well as where that storm is at. We're going to track that this weekend for us here in the Weather Center. But once we head into next week, we have beautiful conditions just in time for any outdoor activities that you have planned or scheduled. Back to you.
And we continue to follow breaking news out of Alameda, where the Border Patrol did arrive in the Bay Area. This was the scene just outside of the Alameda Coast Guard Island. Very tense moments came down earlier this morning. Protesters blocked the intersection, some caught up in a flashbang and tear gas. There it goes right there. Veronica Macias spoke with protesters who saw a man get hit by a tear gas canister.
You have hundreds of protesters who are blocking the entrance here to the Coast Guard Island, where they are delivering a message. You could see them holding these signs saying no ICE or troops in the bay. And they have been successful this morning in blocking the entrance. Earlier in the morning, they created a traffic jam. And while things were peaceful, as soon as you had the first Customs and Border Protection agents arriving at the base, you also had that turn of events that resulted in 2 injuries this morning. An agent throwing 2 flashbangs from his trunk, and then there was tear gas striking one minister in the face. Later, you had someone whose foot was run over by an unmarked SUV. And I can tell you, Mugo, none of this, from the people I've talked to here at this protest, are being deterred to leave by what they saw. They tell me they're here to deliver that one message, and that is that they do not want ICE in their communities. The majority of people here, interfaith leaders who are here to stand with the immigrant community who they say is being terrorized by this massive immigration operation across the nation. Take a listen to the minister who was struck.
He didn't care, so there's nothing else to say than clearly he wanted to cause harm to me.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing better, yes. We're here just to stand on the side of migrants, so.
Does this deter you from?
No, not at all. I mean, it's clear that we're here to be on the side of love.
He says they have a message of love. Jorge, he's a minister in Oakland, and I've been talking to other interfaith leaders here who tell me that if this is the way faith leaders are being treated, ask yourself how the immigrant community is being treated. Take a listen to another minister we spoke to.
We do not want troops, and we do not want ICE in our street. We want our families to be safe. And we want them to stop terrorizing our communities. And what you just saw here, what happened to Reverend Bautista, is he was just terrorized right in the face with chemical weapons. We're protesting peacefully, we're walking, we're staying within the law. They are the ones who are out of the law. They are the ones who are breaking the law, and we're walking.
And President Trump just posted this statement after calling off the potential federal deployment in San Francisco, quote, I spoke to Mayor Lurie last night, and he asked very nicely that I give him a chance to see if he can turn it around. I told him it's an easier process if we do it, faster, stronger, and safer, but let's see how you do. Therefore, we will not surge San Francisco on Saturday. Stay tuned. Again, we keep following the federal deployment of Border Patrol here in the Bay Area. You can find updates anytime at kpix.com and streaming on the CBS News app. Up next, a new pro women's baseball league picks San Francisco as one of its first homes. We'll meet a sports bar owner who grew up playing baseball. Can't wait for that first pitch. Plus,
need a good stock tip? Just ask the 4th and 5th graders at this Oakland school. The financial literacy program they're taking and the women behind it coming up.
Daytime highs throughout the Bay Area today. We're still talking about 70s in our inland spots. Sunny skies for us today and tomorrow throughout our inland areas. But once we dive into this weekend, we have this atmospheric river pushing in from the north, bringing in a series of showers on and off as we head into our Saturday and Sunday forecast. That should start clearing up, though, as early as next Monday. And then we get that nice midweek warm up right around the corner, and you'll definitely notice it in our inland spots. Now we make our way over into the Bay. 60s pretty much each day for now until we get that warm up as we head into next week. But for now, we're keeping a close eye on those stormy conditions this weekend.
well, the Women's Professional Baseball League is gearing up for their inaugural season next year. The league announces it has first 4 cities to have teams, and that includes San Francisco. The Bay Area's expansion of professional women's sports has garnered huge followings. And as Amanda Harry reports, there's excitement over this newest team.
We have a picture of a league of their own here.
Baseball is already represented at Ricky's Sports Bar, a photo of a league of their own, and Toni Stone, the first woman to play as a regular on an American professional baseball team. But soon, owner Sarah Jurgovich will have to add another team to the wall.
And to be one of the 4 founding cities for that league is really phenomenal.
San Francisco is one of 4 cities that will represent a team competing in the Women's Professional Baseball League. The others are New York, Boston, and Los Angeles. For Jurgovich, this is extra special.
Because I played baseball as a kid. I didn't play softball. I think just because I had brothers, I ended up playing baseball.
A photo shows 9 boys, and then Jurgovich. She thought she was the only one.
I didn't know that there were other girls out there that played baseball at all. And so to go from that and to stop playing when I was 14 because there wasn't really a future in it, to now having a women's sports bar and having a new team in the Bay Area for women's baseball is like, can't even believe it. The younger me couldn't believe it.
Co-director of the Center for Sports and Social Justice at Cal State East Bay, Matthew Atencio, says that representation is imperative.
And I really hope that this new baseball league will inspire young kids, young girls to play sports.
We've already seen women's sports hit a home run in the Bay Area. The Golden State Valkyries sold out every home game in their inaugural season. The new baseball team is taking a page out of their book and staying with the color scheme.
There is something going on here in terms of our history, in terms of how we view the inclusion of women and girls in sports. We find it very, very important. We have a long history of that. And, you know, as we've come past the 50th anniversary since Title IX legislation, the Bay Area really has set the standard in terms of girls and women's sports participation.
In Oakland, a woman recently stepped up to the mound. Kelsey Whitmore was a pitcher for the Oakland Ballers in 2024. She's already tried out for the WPBL. Jurgovich believes San Francisco will hit it out of the park when it comes to supporting the team.
The Bay Area also has like a great baseball history with the Giants and formerly the A's. And so I'm excited for some baseball fans to kind of, feel that and bring in the women's sports element to it. And I know they're going to be receptive to it.
Well, WPBL games will be played on a neutral venue, which will be announced at a later date. In August, the league hosted open tryouts in Washington, D.C. The players' draft is next month. Well, coming up, we're going to meet a Bay Area woman giving kids a leg up on secure financial futures, the inspiration for her powerful program.
They're learning about managing their own money, saving for college, building their own businesses, and they're having fun with it.
Now, as we head into this weekend, an atmospheric river is pushing in from the north. What that's going to do for us is bring in a series of showers on and off as we head into Saturday morning, starting at 6 a.m. up in the North Bay, tracking that to the south as we head into the afternoon hours. It's light for the most part. I mean, Saturday alone, we're seeing close to around 1/100 of an inch of rain throughout most our East Bay areas. A little bit more impressive numbers up in the North Bay. Here's those numbers just in total for Saturday alone. Now, as we head into our Sunday forecast, we'll see a very similar setup, on and off light showers on tap for us. We clear up as we head into Monday, right around the corner as we head into next week. And then we're in for a treat as we head into next week, too. We're talking about drier conditions around the corner, warmer temperatures, too. Here's what it's going to look like as we head into the next 7 days right behind me. 60s today and tomorrow. Similar trend as we head into this weekend. We'll return to the 70s in our inland spots as early as next Tuesday and Wednesday. Upper 70s on tap for us as we head into next week. Widespread throughout the Bay Area.
Well, do you need some advice in investing your money? You might consider asking some 4th and 5th graders in Oakland. They are taking a course started by an Oakland woman for underserved youth. Sharon Chin introduces us to this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award winner.
What do you know about it?
It's a public company.
Oh, that's great. So
Val Chapman is teaching students how to make money.
They're getting a foundation, a foundational exposure to finance. What would that cost you today?
The retired stockbroker wanted to help break the cycle of poverty among at-risk children, so she founded Financial Literacy for Kids in 2020.
They're learning about managing their own money, saving for college, building their own businesses, and they're having fun with it. 100 shares, $21.62.
Val teaches 4 classes a week at Franklin Elementary School in Oakland. 4th and 5th graders like Maurice Young manage their own simulated portfolios and share their money makers.
Trump Media.
Why?
Because he's going up.
How much?
By $2.
A share?
Yes.
They're also learning diversification and, like 5th grader Praise Tamang, the right time to buy.
I like to buy them while they're down.
Have you made a lot of money?
I've made $200 in equity so far.
And Anuea Lopez understands if they start young, they can grow a nice nest egg.
You could have more money and live a better life.
134.63, and then multiply it by 100. Now, Miss Yeager just gave you a trick.
Teacher Benita Yeager says Val's lessons are turning a profit in student learning.
They're just broadening their horizons and they're just expanding their minds, and they really love it, which is the best part of it all.
And Val loves it too.
You could see the joy. This is her passion. This is what she wants to do.
The lipstick, it can change colors.
On this day, students pitch new product ideas to a guest speaker from Elf Beauty in Oakland. It's the entrepreneurial arm of Financial Literacy for Kids.
How do you produce these? Who makes
Students build their own startups and compete in Tiger Tank, their school's version of Shark Tank. They pitch their products like homemade soap.
We have students that are, they've hired other classmates to work with them, and they're earning about $30 to $40 a week. So that's pretty impressive, and that also helps them build their math skills and their research skills.
And some of the students have won regional prizes in the National Stock Market Game, where they manage a hypothetical $100,000 portfolio. And Val is seeing early returns on her investment, students opening savings accounts, and a ripple effect at home.
Not only are the students learning more about investing, but they're also talking to their parents and their families about saving and investing as well. Market cap, previous close, the open.
So for opening doors of economic opportunity through Financial Literacy for Kids, this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award goes to Val Chapman.
And Val's program is funded by the Oakland Public Education Fund. She's looking for more corporate sponsors and grants so she can bring her program to every 4th and 5th grader in Oakland. It's a great program. She also teaches a week-long tuition-based summer program. And you can nominate a local hero for a CBS News Bay Area Icon Award at kpix.com/icon. Well, thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. We'll be right back with your first alert forecast and a look at your top stories.